Okay. Guess what, guys? It is time. As you see in the thumbnail, we have finally reached This Place Will Become Your Tomb. You guys know I've already heard the first two songs. I don't care. I'm going to re listen to the first two songs because I want to do this as a whole album. I have a lot of things that I'm excited about with this. Hypnosis is on this. Looking forward to that. I haven't heard it today, so fine. I specifically stayed away from listening to any kind of music today because I knew I was going to do this reaction as the night went on. So I'm excited. I'm not going to talk your heads off. I'm going to get into the reaction. I'm going to listen. I will talk a little bit about production. I've had some comments where people were like, dude, do your thing, you know? Like, you want to talk about production, then talk about it. So I will. It may bore some of you whenever I talk about production. I don't know. But I think about production from a different angle than most, I feel. Yeah, I think I could say that confidently because typically people listen to production and they're like, oh, the drums this, the guitar's this is this, and it's very like technical. I'm not that type of producer. Like when I worked in the world of production and building songs and creating songs, I did things way different. So I'll talk about that as the album goes on. Anyways, let's get into this, guys. I'm excited. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is going great for you guys out there and the craziness that we call existence. But live it up, you know? You got one life to live, and I know some days suck. I have them. I have some pretty crappy days too, but it doesn't mean that we can't sit down at the end of the day and relax and listen to some Sleep Token. So let's do that. All right. It's been a couple of minutes now that I've started. Let's see. I can't see that. Five, three. I don't know. Either 3 or 4 minutes. I'll have to look at it because I like to know when I start. All right. Here we go. Breathe. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Call me when they bury bodies underwater. It's blue light over murder for me. Crumble like a temple built from future daughters to wasteland when the oceans recede. Mary in the morning, earn your bitter father. It's easier to try not to eat. So flood me like Atlantic, bandage up the trenches, anything to get me to sleep. I woke up surrounded, eyes like frozen planets, just orbiting the vacuum I am. And they talk me through the damage, consequence, and how it's a pain they know they don't understand. Sobbing So flood me like Atlantic, weather me till nothing. Wash away the blood on my hands.
Oh, I love that part, dude. Almost lost a good vocal. Turn this up. Don't you wake me Mm. It's such an epic way to open an album. Goodness gracious. This my stuff. Hmm. Okay, so I have to stop for just a moment and breathe because now from here on out, I don't know that I know anything else. I haven't even looked at the song track list to see if I've even heard any of these songs before because I'm going into this with a fresh mind. So there's that. Also, who produced this? I remember I read a comment. Somebody told me who it was. Damn it. Started with an L. I know it was something. Oh, damn. All right. So I'm going to look that up here in a minute. But whoever it was is either A, a drummer, B, a bass player, or C, both. Because, yeah, I know that if I were the one to mix that down, the way that that song is mixed, that is so heavily mixed on a bass. Like from the bass standpoint, different people feel differently about songs. Obviously, duh. The point is when you go into a song that has been brought to you, and you're gonna do any kind of editing or mixing and mastering, that type of thing. Mastering is I'm just trying to keep all this stuff simple. Mastering, you're basically bringing the volume up. You're bringing it to industry standard, making sure that it sounds sonically loud enough and clear enough that you can catch the intricacies. Now, um, different people feel differently about different things. So when I listen to something like this, I'm trying to pay attention to what I hear because I know on like the last album it was pretty bass heavy as well, but I was noticing a lot of distortion in the bass. Um, this album feels like it's, I'm gonna say the same producer. I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna have to look. Maybe a different producer, but I feel like it's the same person. Um, So what I'm trying to say, the bass is so predominant in this, and it like you can hear it the do 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 do, and like there is a level of distortion that has been put on this bass line. I don't I don't know exactly like what distortion they use. I mean, there's 1,000 different types of distortions. This is a very I was just trying to think of another band to compare it to, but I don't want to do comparisons like that because number one, I don't think it's right to do that because each band has its own intricate sound. And I think trying to compare one band to another is trying to say that one is better than the other. There are bands that you're going to favorite more, that you're going to favor and want to listen to more. But that doesn't mean that the other band's not good. So obviously, I'm a huge Metallica fan. I grew up listening to Metallica. I was a kid. I was 8, 9 years old when Metallica was like popping. I mean, they were like the band at the moment. So I grew up listening to that, and that was the thing. Especially once I got into my teen years, Metallica and Megadeth were the two that I just knew every song on every album, a lot like what you guys do with Sleep Token. Um, you may have been older and found Sleep Token kind of like I am, and that's awesome. It's great because I have a new band that I'm into right now, and it gives me something to be excited about. What I'm trying to say is, in a very long-winded way, I told you I was going to talk about production. This song, the producer has to be either a drummer, a bass player, or both. I know two obviously does the drumming, but I can promise you that when it came time to mix this down and to get it ready for mastering and all that side of it, um, they had to work very very well together because it's so clean the way that they mixed it. It is so like, I mean, like you just know when the bass comes in, you know. When the drummer comes in, you know. It's very pronounced. It's very on the point. Like these guys are professionals. They took the time. They thought about it, and they made it happen. Um, I don't know like what studio they did this at or where it was at or any of all those logistics. I didn't look into any of that. I didn't really want to know. I kind of wanted to listen to it from my standpoint, see what I would have done maybe a little different or if I would have done anything different. So far, no. I wouldn't have done a damn thing different. I would have left this song alone. I would have left Atlantic alone and been like, guys, y'all nailed it on this one. Great job. Um, the drumming is, dude. They tell you, if you're a musician, you've probably heard this a million times. If you're gonna go into the studio, know your part. Be ready, be prepared, practice, practice, practice before you get to the studio. Because when you get there and it's time to perform, if you're not on point, you will screw up a whole day of recording. You can't just go in there and willy nilly it. You have to know your part inside out, backwards to front, and in a way that when you're working with a producer or the sound guy or whoever, whatever you're doing at that point, if you're not on your game, you will screw up a day, a whole day. 8 hours, 10 hours, however long you're working, 12 hours. Some guys I know have gone 14, 16 hours. You mess that up, you want to talk about money? You are burning through money. So just putting it out there, these guys know what the hell they're doing. They're professionals. It's very well done. It sounds phenomenal. Great job. Wherever you are in the world, great job. Great job. All right, guys, let's do this. I'm excited. I don't even know what's coming up. Let's go.
I have waited, paralyzed by my own will, viciously reminding me still I'm born to believe, and I am certain, no, that you and I are crashing course.
That mic is so clean.
Driven by a holy force, no, you can see that you will be mine. Yeah, you will be mine.
stop for just a second, because I'm gonna lose this thought if I don't say it now. Um, wow. So whoever in the hell is producing this, I'm gonna go look it up here in a minute. But whoever it is plays bass guitar or drums. I'm telling you, like, there's no way that this guy is that good at producing a bass, and the sound of the bass, like, God, it's so freaking predominant. To me, anyways. I don't know what you hear when you hear this song. Keep in mind, and I've said it, I think, in another video, I have a lot of equipment running sound into these headphones, and these headphones are actual studio headphones. Um, they're kind of on the pricey side. They're set up for loudness and ohms. So what I hear is EQ'd. I have an EQ running in the background. I've got all kinds of little knobs and settings that I've tweaked. I've got an amplifier over here that's running in the headphones. So when I hear that bass hit, it comes and I can feel literally on the inside of the cup. I can feel the vibrations. Feel the vibration. My older crowd will know what that means. Good vibrations. Come on, feel it, feel it. Yeah, that was it. That was, anyways. Show my age. So yeah, the loudness of the bass is so freaking predominant, and it's exciting the hell out of me because it's been a while since I've heard an album where a producer was so heavily bass predominant, and I love it. I am loving it. So I don't know if the rest of the album is going to sound like that. I mean, it could literally flip on a dime where we go from this bass heavy sound to not. So it can happen from song to song, even. The, the thing about producing, and I'll say this, and I'll leave it alone. I won't be so in you guys' face about it. But the thing about producing is a lot of it comes off of feel. Um, and that's feel from the producer standpoint, the person who's working the board, the person who's doing the mix downs, the mastering. All of these could, well, they could all be the same person, but typically you'll have a guy that does your mastering for you. Then you have your producer. Um, a lot of times, whoever's doing the production and sticking to this kind of stuff, I think that most people use, one producer. I have seen bands like the Bee Gees. The Bee Gees have used 4 or 5 different producers in one album. That's kind of whack. It's crazy to me. I'm like, wow, like, why would you want to have 5, 6, 7 different personalities all mixed into one album? You talk about headache. Unless they're just that great and everybody can work so well together. But this, I feel like, is maybe one producer. Then you probably have an editor, or a master. Someone who's going to do your mixing and mastering. So the producer could do it. That's very possible. I know Vessel. That I've read that a couple of comments, I think, so far, that Vessel did some of his own production and did stuff. So it could be that that's happening. That Vessels is working hand in hand with the producer to do the production. So that's awesome. But if you notice, most of the time, and I've noticed this pattern. Their songs are not that complicated. It's very like each part is intricate. They all matter. I think the piano is probably the keys is probably the most technical side of it. I mean, other than the drums, drumming is like out there. It's feel like I'm listening. I don't like putting labels, guys. I'm doing it anyway. It feels like prog rock. Um, the drumming feels like prog rock. It's very like there's no repetitive pattern. It's very, very like experimental feeling. Like there is no limitations to what they can do. That's what I like about this, is that it's very open. very open to interpretation. It's very, from a lyrical standpoint, from the music side of it, like there's some songs where I notice little things happening. I'll hear like a little bell ring or a little, just little things, you know? And I'm like, gosh, these guys put a lot of thought, a lot of effort into these songs, but they're not complicated. I could sit down with a guitar and figure this out in probably 5-10 minutes, you know? Ugh. I'm not saying that all the songs are that way. I'm saying that some songs are very like less is more. That's another thing about producing. You got to know when to say, okay, that's enough. Because you can keep adding layers and layers and layers and layers until you completely ruin a song because there's just too much loudness coming at you, and it ruins the final mix. I've seen that happen too, unfortunately. I have one band in mind that it happened, and I was just like, wow, they way overkilled this album. Anyways, I'm going back again. I'm sorry I stopped it. I know, but I have to every now and then because I will lose my thought, and I just had a whole lot of thoughts. So, going back. Jeez, goodness gracious. All right, next. What's next? Great job. Like that. I'd love to know what mics they use.
Trapped under the surface of your words, there is a new intention, new whispers that once could not be heard, catching your intention. Wait, talking with razors on your tongue, just to provoke my combat. New weapons to snap those final strings, just to watch me fall back. Do you like that? Do you like that? Push down into membranes and layers.
Uh, the less is more concept, guys. Sometimes it's all about how much you put into the song. They're nailing this for me. This is awesome. Um, that song, you know what that reminds me of? Y'all are gonna think I'm weird, but there was a time when I used to put subwoofers and all kind of audio in my vehicle. Um, every time I get a car, I would add, you know, two 10-inch subs, the amp, the all the highs and the doors, all that stuff. I would do the whole kit and caboodle, and then there would be certain hip hop songs, um, Fifth Ward Weeby, all these different hip hop songs and or artists, should I say, that I would use Juvenile, Mr. Magic, Ludacris. All these people were making albums that had this heavy thump boom that would come in. Um, this song, I guarantee you, would hold its own if you have subs, if you have a woofer system in your vehicle or a huge sound system. I guarantee you put this on, crank the bass up, turn it on, you will see people's hair vibrate. I've seen it on videos where girls will sit down and it goes and all of their hair just starts. Pretty awesome. I don't do that to my vehicles anymore. I figured out that if you constantly upgrade vehicles or change vehicles and your sound is set for that car, you can't take it with you. I mean, sometimes you can, but a lot of times you got to get all new audio and stuff put in and install it again and then do it again. And I think after like the third time or maybe the fourth time of doing that, I was like, you know, probably not a good idea to keep wasting all that money on sound that was just making me deaf anyway. So, anyways, that's a great song. I'm gonna keep it going. Here we go. Like that. That was awesome.
You lying in circle on your own continuum. Now keep the freak show talk to a careful minimum. I'll find a different harbor to lay my anchor in. And you'll find a different way to keep from setting sail again. No, but I'm still full of the love you want, still waking up beneath it all. And I'm still full of the love you want. I'll reach for you, I'm free alone. Seems your heart is locked up and I still get the combination wrong. Or are you simply waiting to save your love for someone I am not?
Arpeggiator. Wow. Wow.
And I'm still full of the love you want. And I'm still full of the love you want. And I'm still full of the love you want. The love you want. The love you want. And I'm still full of the love you want. And I'm still full of the love you want. And I'm still full of the love you want. The love you want. The love you want. Lying in Japan on your own continuum. Now keep the freak show talk to a careful minimum.
Wow. No song's coming on. Oh, it's Fall for Me. That I didn't realize that was on this album. This song's hard for me, dude. Anyways, I'm gonna hear it again. I'll listen to it again. uh, Completely threw my train of thought way out the window when I saw Fall for Me. What was I gonna say? Oh, they do a lot of stops, real the choppy in the second half of that song. I'd be curious. I know I'll never get a chance to do this, but from a waveform standpoint, looking at the chops to see if they took out the stuff in between, the noise, quote unquote. I'm just curious if they just leave it, if they're like willy nilly and like whatever. If there's noise, then it is meant to be there, or if they're like super clean editing, taking out all the volume stops in between every little note. I wonder if they're that intricate about it, or if they just kind of like went with it. Um, that type of stuff just interests me. That's all I was gonna say. All right, here we go. Fall for Me. This is a hard song to listen to. It's a beautiful freaking song, but just yeah. All right, here we go.
In a city of ice, there are burning cathedrals, turning the skies into glass. And through echoing futures are the buckling sutures that haunch at the wounds of the past. So won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me? Through a fractured existence, won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me? From reality to the rhythm of eternity, won't you fall for me? My insecurities surround me like lions in the den, and I feel like I'm losing touch with what I am again. Slowly I remember why I cannot pretend that I never think of you in all this screaming silence. Oh God, I wish you were here. So won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me? Through a fractured existence, won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me? From reality to the rhythm of eternity, won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me? for me? Won't you fall for me? With my love is your garden. Won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me? From reality, I am yours in the end. So won't you fall for me?
Okay, so I've heard Alkaline before. I'm just curious if it's going to set different now that I kind of know what Sleep Token's about.
Every once in a while something changes, and she's changing me. It's too late for me now, I am altered. There is something beneath. She's not acid nor alkaline, caught between black and white, not quite either day or night. She's perfectly misaligned. I'm caught up in her design and how it connects to mine. I see in a different light the objects of my desire.
Okay, before we go any further, I want to say this. This song is definitely hitting different this time than it did the first time I listened to it. Um, I think it's because when I first heard Alkaline, I think it was like maybe the second song that I think my first song ever was Chokehold. And I remember listening to Chokehold and thinking like, wow, the music is badass. Um, but I did not understand the lyric. I was kind of, and then I had this visual on my screen. There was a video on YouTube of Chokehold, and there was just like creature looking roach thing with horns or something. I don't really remember that part, but like I remember it was super distracting to see that. And then you guys were making comments, and you're like, "Well, quit watching the visuals because it's not about the visual. This whole band is about not finding things to focus on like that. So just pay attention." And I was like, all right, cool. So I went and started listening in a different way, I guess. And then once you kind of get your feet wet and you kind of understand what it's all about, I think if you're open to different types of music, I should say, genre bending, if you're okay with that, then you'll like this. Um, I think there are some people who are a little bit too judgmental, I guess would be the right word. The gatekeepers of rock or whatever you want to call it, metal. I don't understand that world. So I'm not even going to talk about that world. I think this song hits differently now that I kind of have a feeling of why Vessel writes what he writes. The lyric actually makes sense to me. The first time I heard this, I remember like looking at the lyrics like, what the hell is this dude talking about? Like, didn't make sense. It's not acid or alkaline. I'm like, dude, that's like water. Like, what are we talking about here? Anyways, this makes a lot more sense. That's all I'm trying to say. Cool. Let's roll.
Ooh, let's talk about chemistry, 'cause I'm dying to melt through to the heart of her molecules, till the particles part like holy water. If anything, she's an undiscovered element, either born in hell or heaven sent. Either way, I'm into it. She's not acid, no alkaline.
I still hold true to what I said the first time I heard this. I still believe the second or maybe the last 3 quarters of where the song hits the 3 quarters mark and it kind of flipped, the sound kind of changes. I think I would have took that part and created a whole nother song. I really do. I think that the last part of this is like could have been a whole nother inspiration for a whole nother song. I would have wrote another part to finish Alkaline and then use that to start a whole nother song. I don't think he has a problem finding ways to write. I think it comes pretty natural to him. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, it definitely hit different that time. Distraction. Wait a minute. Before I go too far, guys, let me go check to see because I might have to stop around the halfway mark here on the album because I talk too damn much. Y'all know this. Technically, I should have stopped at Fall From Me. Wow. And I'm all the way down to Distraction. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop here. Let's let Alkaline be a good stopping part. Um, just because Fall From Me I feel is a little bit shorter of a song, and then Alkaline added in. Then you got 5 minutes, 5.5, 6 minutes. So with all that, that's about halfway through the album. And I'll label it properly so that you guys know that the whole album is not in the first video. Like it'll be all the way up till this point, and then I'll come back and I'm gonna go ahead and record the rest of this sitting here now and listen to it. Um, okay, so all right, we're at the halfway point, guys. I'm liking this album a lot. I think I say that about every album. Every time I listen to an album, I'm like, oh, I like this one. Oh, I like this one. Oh, this is the one. There's going to be a lot of that. I'll tell you, my sleep token list of songs is massive already. And on my playlist is what I'm talking about in Amazon. It's already pretty big. And I know that I still have like 2 more albums, I think, after this. I don't know, 2 or 3, something like that. But I know that there's a lot more songs. And my sleep token playlist is going to be pretty awesome because it's just going to bounce around and it's just going to be random, like never know what's coming up next. But this is pretty awesome. Okay, so all right, I'm at 53 minutes here, so that means I'm probably at like 50 something. I don't know. I can't tell if it's a 56 or a 58. My eyesight is terrible, guys. Either way, I'm right at the hour mark. I think that's plenty long enough for a reaction. I find that you guys are probably not even watching this whole thing. And for the ones that do, like, dude, my hat is off to you. I tip my cap because I'm pretty random and I talk a lot and I throw stuff out there. And sometimes people agree. Sometimes they're like, what is this dude talking about? Shut up. I don't know. All I can say to that is like you don't always see in the comments, by the way, the negativity that I get because the negative stuff I filter it out. I just pull it and I drop it. So I don't have time for that in my life. And honestly, I look at every single comment. So literally every comment since I've started this channel, I've looked at every comment. I have 0 comments waiting for me to respond. Sometimes I'll give it like a little heart thing and then a like saying, hey, I saw it. I understand that you made a comment. Sometimes I reply. It just depends on how much time I have, where I'm at, who I'm with. Because anytime I'm with my wife, nothing else takes importance away. So anything I do with my YouTube channel is my time. Most of the times it's through the middle of the night that I'm recording. up until 5:30 in the morning, and then I'll go get in bed for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then my wife wakes up usually around 7, and then that's when my day starts with her. She'll do her thing and work throughout the day, and then I'll come record a couple of videos maybe, or I hang out with my dog, um, stuff like that. But then like after the afternoon, I'm all about my wife. So yeah, just know I'm looking at all the comments. I see it. The negative stuff I pull, I drop it, I get it out of there. Nobody has time to be reading all that. Um, I'm still a pretty small channel, relatively small channel, so I don't have 6,000 comments a day. But I say all that to say I appreciate the ones that are being real, the ones that are watching and enjoying the reactions. I'm loving this roller coaster ride that I'm on. It's a lot of fun. Great whenever you find a new band that you can like really sink your teeth into. And I did not mean to reference sinking my teeth because I know Vessel uses the teeth and the biting, and yeah, I didn't do that on purpose. It's just something that I said. All right, so that's an hour. That's good enough. That's long enough. I said it in the beginning. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is okay and that life is treating you kind and fair. And if it's not, maybe today just wasn't your day, but there's always tomorrow. So just try to live for the tomorrow if you have to. Um, but remember that every moment you have is a blessing. Take it, enjoy it, run with it, live it up, do your thing because it goes quick. It goes really, really quick, guys. All right. Anything else? No, I'm good. Appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one. You guys take care.